I'm just going to Insta.
People are talking, right? So we've got Luke Through the Lens, #first. Iridescent Productions, James, otherwise known as Teddy. We've given his nickname.
Instagram,
He says party. We've got Luke. He says Ayo. Nate from Nate's Film Tutorials is here. Ritz Aviel. Hi, this is great. Tell me, Ritz, if that's not how you pronounce your name. Tech Diffused is here. And we've got questions already.
Oh, what? Oh.
Yeah. We're just going to be sorting out Instagram because people have joined us.
Right.
Oh, Joshua Martin's here. Hello, Joshua Martin.
Right, this is going to have to go on here.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
If you get us some passes that gaff tape just out of the drawer.
And which gaff tape do you want? Posh tape?
Nah, just the normal stuff.
How much do you want? Do you want it stripped off?
Yes, please.
Alright, while you're doing that, I'll save a question. Noise is gone. Yeah, thank you, James. DB finally used to use the Sony. No, we were looking at it, but there was these weird things to figure it out, and it was too complicated, and we thought we'll just use phones because they're good enough as it is. Daniel Schiffer says, congrats on 10k. Thank you very much, Daniel. And he says, Nate, nice channel, man. Oh yeah, shout out to Nate's Film Tutorials. If you haven't subscribed to him, subscribe to him right now. He's currently in the comments section.
Some more, please.
Oh, you want more?
Sorry, this is a bit of a false start, isn't it? Just keep ripping
Emily's
it off.
here as well. Hi, Emily.
Hello, Emily. We're using gaff tape to like sort this out, so.
And then, Ryan Booth is here. Hello, Ryan. And Joshua Martin is here as he was before. Hi, Josh. How you doing? Okay, let's have a look. So, one of the best filmmaking tutorial channels out there. Yes, Nate's Film Tutorials certainly is. Alright, let's see if we've got any questions. Actually, we've got one question that will get us started off from Vegard Pedersen. Mate, that's...
It's a bit of a Dutch angle, so you might only have me. So if you go on Instagram, it's not as clean as the YouTube one, but we'll stick with YouTube. Hello, by the way, I was just fixing a phone camera, which we're also live on Instagram as well.
I'm just going to check some sound levels.
Yep.
So Vegard Pedersen asks, I'm looking forward to February 18th. That's today. Question, how did you get into filmmaking? Do you want to start?
How did we get into filmmaking? Mine was a bit of a long route round. My degree is in business. 2 seconds.
Oh, your live video ended on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm just going to have to end that one. Sorry, we're having technical problems.
Just sack it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Your phone's literally
Right, my phone's dead. Right.
Oh, mate.
Oh yeah. Right, now we'll get properly started now, because this is a bit of a... Right, so how do I get started in filmmaking? I did business as a degree and kind of... Well, I wanted to do something a little bit more creative, so I did a Masters in Media Production when I was about 21, so this is 2012 I finished, and then from there it was just making kind of films and just where we are now. We've only been doing the channel for 2 years, and it's just creative and making stuff, making anything. That's what I like doing in films, is just my outlet to feed that creativity, I suppose. How do you get started?
I started because my friend James invited me round to make a Matrix film, and we were 10 years old. He used a Lego webcam, and I bought it off him for £5 to make stop motion animations with blue tack, and then I nagged my mother for 2 years to buy me a video camera. And this is the video camera here. It is a Panasonic NVGS5. It's like a mini DV old tape one, and it served me well. I got through Detective James, I got through Duel of the Mates, which was a Star Wars fan film, and then I went to university, did some visual effects, realised because I'm colourblind I can only do so many visual effects without people's skin turning green by mistake. And then after that I decided I just wanted to be a traditional filmmaker.
Yeah.
We've got our first live question.
There's a couple up the top actually.
Yeah, let's have a look.
There's actually quite a lot coming through, so if we go, I think it's just below.
Yeah, we're doing a lot better than we did last time.
Yeah. Daniel's tuned in, so he's commented. Actually, he's talking to each other. That's good in between there.
Alright, Camille Vargas is asking, what is your advice for someone who wants to become a director? What's the best pathway in your opinion? Well, that's something we're still figuring out. So that's a bit difficult to answer because we're certainly not like Hollywood directors with any sort of real degree of success, if that would be sort of feature films in cinemas and stuff like that. I guess directing would just be find some actors, make some films, talk to them and learn how to communicate.
Yeah, just make stuff. Get used to talking to people. Get used to communicating as well, not just in the directing role, in many other roles, and even just in, I suppose, in life in general. And I suppose it's all this confidence, isn't it? But it is just a learning process that you've got to go through. And some things will work, sometimes it won't, but it's part of the fun, isn't it? So.
All right, we've got one here from Perusha Peru. Great name. He says, best things about Final Cut Pro X version 10.4. Is it 360-degree editing?
No, it's actually Premiere Pro. That's the best thing about Final Cut. It's that there's Premiere Pro out there that you can actually use.
If anyone watching right now or wants to comment later on with some of the good things about Premiere Pro, not Premiere Pro, Final Cut. I've never used Final Cut ever.
We're Windows. We use all the Adobe products. So, and I haven't used Final Cut either. I've actually used Avid more than I've used Final Cut, which is a completely different.
James from Iridescent Production says no live light this time around. Sorry, James. We do have a glowing clapperboard though.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Take two.
Right. Anyone who's watching, just if you just want to put any question, it's basically ask us anything in the comments and we'll try and get around to it.
Oh, my mate Louis in as well. He says, "Alright, lads. Alright, Louis, how you doing?"
Yeah.
And then it's went down a bit. Let's have a look. Guys, there's a lot of people in today. This is really nice.
Valley Films from Max. He's just saying.
Hi Max, how you doing? Good to see you.
That's exactly what he said. He asked us how we're doing.
Doing well. Yeah,
we're doing well. It's just this little live thing, just trying to get used to doing it.
Alright, Ritz Avil asks, do you think online film schools are worth it?
So is that paying for it?
I guess so, yeah. It would be like an open
courses?
university sort of thing.
I suppose with any education, it's as much as you put into it, it's what you get out of it. There's lots of free online courses, YouTube. That's what we do. You could even just go down, instead of signing up to an official one, if you don't want the title and the degree, just get something like Skillshare and do as many courses on there as you can. We both went to university. We both paid to go to university. I was still paying for the university.
I haven't paid a single penny for my loan back yet.
Yeah. So, I mean, we went, but we didn't have a great experience. But it did help. I suppose it did help because we are here and we did pay for that. But I feel like because there's so many resources online, and if you've got people who are willing to make things with you, maybe not pay for things. Because I mean, I've paid for a masterclass in the website Masterclass, where you get just one course from a director or actor or a writer, and they're amazing. Like that information that you get from them, and if you study it, might be worth more than paying for something to go to an official. It depends what you're saying if about like an official course or something.
I guess if the question is it like for like with a physical film course, then definitely not. There's a lot of free resources, like Rob said, that would get you started. But the best thing about film school is that you meet other people. So you can put a camera in someone's hand, and you can put a boom pole and a sound recorder in another, and you can sort of make films. You're all like-minded, rather than trying to find people because you're on your own. You're sort of already in this cooking pot together. Online courses are great if you want to learn something very specific, and paying for them means that they're going to be super premium content most of the time, at least. But I think especially if you're just starting out, all of the free stuff. I mean, get yourself subscribed to Film Ride. I bet 100% of the people watching this right now are.
Just watch all their videos.
Yeah.
Stop and begin. I mean, if you feel like you need, we both got degrees and we've got a couple of letters before our names type thing. If you think you need the piece of paper, like the diploma, go for it. But generally in the creative industry, in the filmmaking industry, that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's all about the education rather than the qualification. So our degrees are essentially just very, very expensive receipts.
Yeah.
DIY Camera Guy asks, what are your 5 and 10 year filmmaking goals?
I'll go with that. So I suppose to make a feature, got a couple of ideas in mind, but this sounds daft. But in 10 years' time, it's the 100th Oscars, and I didn't get into making films for the awards or the money. It was just to tell stories. But I do like award ceremony. The BAFTAs is tonight. I'm going to watch it straight after this live stream. And the Oscars is in a couple of weeks, and I like the magic of that. So in 10 years' time, I would love to be at the 100th Oscars, even if I've got to sneak in. Even if I'm not like there, meant to be there, I will be there type thing. So I suppose it's just a goal to go to that one day. Maybe it's hopefully for a film. But I know it's a bit, people say, there's only so many people get there, it's a daft goal to have, but why not have one? Why not reach for that's the top, that's the biggest thing you can go for. Why not reach for that? Why not try and get there instead of people saying that you can't? Well, yeah, it's true. Like, it's true. Yeah, like.
Well, the good thing is, right? You think you start at film school, and there are 30 people on your course. You'll soon realise after you finish university that there'll only be about 5 of you still making films, and that'll be within the next 10 years as well. A lot of people will be following tutorials online and making films, but a lot of people will just not bother because they'll find something else that they prefer to do, or they'll settle with a different kind of job. You gotta, I suppose it's just consistency and keep on going, and eventually you'll be the only person that can actually be bothered to make it. Right. In 10 years' time, I would just like to make movies.
Still be making movies, yeah.
Maybe not have to do like random client work, like interviews and B-roll. As much as it pays the bills, it's not as fun as making proper narrative films.
We need to shorten these answers down a little because there's questions coming through. So Daniel says, how old are each of you, and what plans are kind of coming for the channel? So
I'm 25.
I'm 29. 30 this year. That's pretty old, I know.
I'm 26 this year.
Yeah, and how big are your plans? What we're coming for the channel? Just make more. Never miss an upload. That's one of our first things.
Yeah, we've
two
got
videos a week
every Tuesday since we started the channel almost 2 years ago.
And just to make more films, we made one last year. We're planning the next 2. Hopefully, we might get another one out before the end of the year. If not, another one after that. And just constantly making films, different genres, different styles, different everything. Work with more people and just tell stories. But obviously, make the videos that go along with them for this channel, because this channel has given us kind of a creative outlet to express ourselves. More people are watching our stuff than ever before, in short film terms anyway. Normally it's just a couple of people that watch them when we put them out before. So yeah, that's kind of that.
Mad's over at the Filmmaker's Notebook. Mad, if you're here, I haven't quite got down to the comments yet, so I don't know whether you're live at the moment, but hello, Mad. She asks, congratulations. My questions are, where do you see the future of filmmaking going? And there's a few more questions on top of that, but where do you see the future of filmmaking going? Netflix, I think. I think cinema is going to have to do a hell of a lot in order to bring people back. So far, it's done that 3 times with 3D. It did that when TV was invented, 3D. When colour TV was invented, we're going to have to bring out 3D. Yeah. and when the VHS was invented, we better bring out 3D.
Wasn't like Avatar,
and with Netflix, Avatar brought out 3D, and it's going to keep doing that. And if if Netflix gets to the point where it's putting out films just as good, then they'll probably bring out 3D again.
Yeah. Jared Johnson says, "Your fellas." Your Jared.
Hi Jared, how you doing? We've got a few questions here from Mads actually. She says, if you were stuck on a desert island, what would be your 3 items you'd have with you?
Food, water, and and filmmaking
flare
terms. In filmmaking terms.
No, I think it's just anything.
Food, water, and a satellite phone.
Mine would be margarita mix, a deck chair, and my girlfriend.
Oh, that's what you have to say that, don't you? So Luke, Through the Lens, which I really like your name because we're just getting it, because he's called Luke and it says Through the Lens, says, are you doing any short film reactions in the stream? No, but if you want to send us your short film, we'll definitely do that later on. After this, all of the questions that we don't get to today, we'll get in the comments and we'll make sure we kind of, we'll answer them.
Caffeine Magazine asks, well done on reaching 10k, guys. Thank you very much. How you script your videos, bullet points or long form, And do you use an auto cue? I'm having problems with this on my channel. No, we don't use an auto cue or a teleprompter or anything like that.
No.
We actually just do it a hell of a lot of times until we finally get it right. One thing that we don't like with some presenting is like you see the eyes shifting around, and at first we just did it straight at the camera because we couldn't afford an auto cue, but I think now we just don't want to use an auto cue. We're so used to doing it, and it's making our presenting a little bit better.
We're just trying to, we've got the scripts, but we're inform a little bit. I mean, Rich is much better at reading from a script, like the lines, than I am. I just kind of like talking, but you know.
Well, yeah, I mean, Rob has dyslexia, so it's quite difficult for him to read sentences.
Yeah, sometimes.
So, I mean, it is.
So, we've got a channel from
They also say bullet points or long form. We script every single episode. It's a full written article.
Yeah.
We don't bullet point anything. It's all right there.
We might make a video on that, of how to make a film look video. Probably when we've run out of ideas of other ideas of videos. Lewis, there's loads. We're just trying to get. There's actually loads of comments coming through. So this was asked like a couple of minutes ago. Lewis has asked, how did the channel kick off? We set up the channel when we had no client work. We also run a video production company as well. So it was around the winter time. We didn't have anything coming along. Me and Rich kind of wanted to start a YouTube channel, and we thought, well, let's start this. We're originally called something else, so not mention the name. But
went through a few names.
And then all of a sudden the film look was available on everything.
It's funny how we came up with that, because we kept seeing videos online on how to get the film look, and all it was you got to do your colour grading, so you got to make your highlights really warm and your shadows really blue, and you got to set your shutter speed to 1/50, but if you make it higher it goes choppy. And I was having a big rant that day in the office.
You sent us a video of this how to achieve the film look video, and I seen the title. I was just like, all right, I'll go on this website that kind of shows you which names are available across every platform, so every social media and domain. Typed the film look in, and I just ran.
And they were all vacant.
They were all vacant. Do you want it? And then it kind of started.
So we went on like all different websites and signed up to everything. I'm pretty sure the film look has a Tinder.
Probably.
Meerkat Films asks, how do you make a cinematic vlog with a cheap retro camera from the past? Wow.
What was that?
How do you make a cinematic vlog with a cheap retro camera from the past?
I'm going to say that as a challenge. I'll make it and let you know.
And what you could do is use it as a challenge in the vlog, and that's the story you tell during it. So you could be like, hey guys, today I'm going to learn how to use this old camera. My dad's just got it out the loft, and today I'm going to use it. And then it goes, the film look, and then it's like
that's the story of the video, isn't it?
The topic would be the limitations of that camera.
Emily Grew, who is our producer on our film, so if you need someone, go check her out, has asked, what aspect of filmmaking do you find most challenging? I think it's being confident enough in the story that we're trying to make, and knowing that excuse me.
Bless you.
Knowing that, because you've always, when you're writing something yourself, it's like, is this actually any good? And you can have the people around you, and everyone's asking you questions. And we kind of rip each other's pieces to shreds in a nice way to be constructive, and so everything's the best. But it's always thinking, is this story any good? Will people like this? Will people watch it? The filmmaking aspect is challenging, but I think it's literally that, because that's the core of any film, is the story any good? So yeah.
So, oh man, this is an exotic name. Ayanut Nakula. I hope I pronounced that right. He asks, would you consider having a subscriber as an intern, have them as crew on a short film, or would you offer a subscriber a placement in your media production company? We've looked into like interns and temp positions and stuff before, but first of all, we don't make a hell of a lot of money in video production, so being able to pay someone else is going to be difficult, because most of the time we can't pay ourselves. And second of all, an intern as a subscriber, yeah, of course. What we're trying to do with most of the films in the future is we're just going to bring on a couple of people at a time.
On project basis, yeah.
Yeah, if you came in day by day, most of the day would look like this.
Yeah. I mean, on our last short film, we had like a bigger crew, and we had someone called Alex who was 16. He's been watching our channel. He's from the local area. Funny enough, his mum knows my mum, so he come on the film. He did a good job. It was the first experience he ever had, and I think he had fun. And it was just nice to kind of get someone like that on set. So yes, but it is obviously difficult, right? We're getting some reactions from Final Cut Pro, which we mentioned earlier. Some people use Hit Film because
we're way behind.
Yeah, we're way behind. Some people are a huge fan of Final Cut. You know what? It's probably really good. We've just never used it. Whatever the end product is from Final Cut and Premiere and Avid and what on Hit Film is
and
the
you lead Video Studio 7.
Yeah, if anyone uses that. It's the final product. It doesn't matter what it was edited on because no one really cares.
It's almost like it's the final cut.
Get that?
Yeah.
Joel's asked what happened to Popcorn Sundays. It's still happening. We really like doing Popcorn Sundays.
Yep.
It's took us a while to watch the backlog of.
Yeah, we didn't expect so many films to come in, and we didn't really expect it to take so long to watch them all. So
how many
probably
do you have?
Over 100.
I think it was about 150 films that got sent, and Rich watched most. Well, he watched all of them.
Like, we watched the first 30 together,
every single one of them,
and we were doing like massive comments on all of them, and we were thinking we would do that for all of them, but it was taking so long, and we were actually getting more videos in, so we had to pause it for a while. We're going to bring it back, but yeah, I watched over 100 of them, and tried to get good feedback on all of them. It was difficult, but I think what we're probably going to do is make it a little bit slower next time.
Yeah, there was just a lot to handle, especially for the two of us. I mean, it was a great experience. I would actually tell everyone to go and watch all of those 150 because we've learnt a lot about what people are making.
Yeah.
And yeah, we comment back on everyone and just would like a little bit more feedback from some of the people that we did actually give feedback to, just because, you know, if we're trying to ask questions about their thing and we didn't get too much response back, but
yeah, the responses we did get back were really good. We had a discussion with some of the filmmakers and that was really fun.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned from watching everyone's videos is we did it around October to December time, so we got a lot of horror shorts in, and I think one thing that was lacking in a few of them was giving a hint of the monster or the demon or the devil right at the beginning, so you have a reason to be scared when there is anticipation throughout the film. So a lot of them would start off in a bedroom and you would hear a creak outside and they would get up and it would take about 2 to 3 minutes of not really anything happening. Yeah. But because we haven't seen even a hint of what this thing is to be scared at, we don't really know why we are fearing this person, and then we lack empathy with the main protagonist as well. So before you start even scaring the audience, make us like this character, because then we'll feel even more scared, because we'll push empathy and fear into that person.
Yeah, good answer. Right,
Racco says new subscriber question. Help me tell better vlog stories. We had a rant about this on the podcast. Yeah. Let's try and get this in shortest amount of answers.
Yeah, on our podcast we answered this question, and I had about a 20-minute rant, and basically with vlogs and tell better stories, actually tell a story. Most people, a lot of vlogs are just cinematic footage of your day, going to the park, going to the beach, but there's no story behind that. You know, you might be, I went to the beach this day, I met up with some friends. Yeah, that's interesting, and it is good to see people's lives, but there's no real story there. And the king of vlogs is Casey Neistat, and you know, he's been around for a while, and you're not copying off him, but he tells good stories. The filmmaking techniques are all there. You can use time lapses, everything that he does, but he actually has a narrative in his pieces. Some of the days it is just him flying on private jets and stuff like that, but that is his life. He's getting there by telling good stories. So
let's show real footage.
Yeah.
And find an obstacle and overcome it.
Yeah.
And document that.
I could talk about that for about an hour.
If you want to hear more details about this, you can see our Film podcast from last week. We spoke for maybe about half an hour.
Yeah. Grip Up has tuned in. It just says Grip Up, so whoever it is from Grip Up, hello. Says, hello guys, would love to know what your balance of making YouTube videos is and film jobs. Looks like you're ramping up YouTube this year. Also love the new clapperboard. Thank you very much. That was a present from Richard's mum. The balance is YouTube's full time for us, but that doesn't necessarily it's full time wage. It's just full time for us because we really like doing it. The video production side, it is still full time for us, so we're kind of doing 2 jobs at the same time.
I guess the good thing is because there's 2 of us, we can still manage to get a video out on a Tuesday and Sunday, because once the client work does come in, we can then split the work and one of us does one and one of us does the other. Imagine if you were on your own doing YouTube stuff, which I imagine a lot of people are, especially watching this, finding that balance is going to be difficult, but it's not all that difficult.
I mean, we really enjoy what we do.
Yeah, that's true.
But we do have a good, I feel like we're getting that way. We do have a good work-life balance. So we know when to kind of turn off and go home, 6 o'clock deadline. If we do have deadlines, we'll work till 12 o'clock. But, I think kind of with age for me anyway, it's just I've learned to kind of have that little bit of work life and just step away from it all,
it's
because
like,
step away and
you
is
can't
just
work
as
at
important.
100% of the time.
Yeah,
You gotta still live.
I mean, what's yours? Hustle with your feet up.
Yeah,
if you can hustle with your feet up.
Hustle with your feet
right.
up.
I've got one from Will's Animated Vision.
Hi, Will.
He's tuned in a couple of times. He says, "Ask anything." Yes. So ask anything. He says, "What is your favourite biscuit to dunk in a tea?"
Chocolate hobnob.
Chocolate hobnob. Chocolate hobnobs. If the caramel ones are out there, we'll have them too.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got another comment from Ionit Nakula. He says, considering that your short films are low budget and the majority of your crew are friends of yours, do you make them sign contracts? If so, could you show us an example? We don't have them sign contracts, it's all just in kind. He says, also, do you pay them? No, we can't pay them a wage because...
Just when we can, we do.
So whenever we can make money from a short film project, we will pay everyone. With Backstage, for example, we weren't making a wage, we weren't able to sell it. We had no intention of selling it, it was just a way of making a movie that was really fun. And we sort of paid everyone in food, and we give them a cool poster.
Hopefully they had fun
and
as
a
well.
fun time.
Yeah.
And the trade-off is that we'll hopefully help them without getting paid as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you wouldn't expect a professional footballer to get paid if they wanted to just have a kickabout on a Saturday. And that's kind of like what it is at the minute with filmmaking for us, because we're not making a product that we can then sell. It's not a product, it's a hobby still, because it's not going to be making any profit. And you wouldn't expect to pay a sort of a professional wage to someone if they just wanted to have a kickabout on a Saturday. Yeah. And kickabouts on a Saturday are like the most fun thing ever. So one tip, if you're going to make a short film and not pay people, is just have a great time.
Yeah. Right, we're going to have to speed this up a bit.
Okay.
A lot of people talking about Premiere Pro and Final Cut.
We've got a war going.
Kind of going. Some people like it, some people don't. It honestly, if you're just used to using one, use that. There's not one better than the other, pretty much in my eyes. Serious question from Wills though, who asked about the biscuits. He said, let's have a look. What is your best cinema going experience? Mine was when I went to see Inception. The ending blew everyone away. Everyone was like, what? Yeah.
Mine would be, funny enough, it's the same director, it would be The Dark Knight. Mm-hmm. That was the first moment in my entire life that I was like, this is just pure immersion. This is the best thing ever.
Look through the lens is, how old were you both when you knew you wanted to make films, or you knew you wanted to make films? 21 years old.
11.
Different in ages, but doesn't matter when you get here. I've always wanted to tell stories, so...
Andrew Cole Photography asks, are you going to shoot a full-length feature film? And when might that be? Ish. Yeah, we will. We're going to build up the features, but making short films is like it's the shuttle run of making movies.
We've got, I think, 10 shorts we want to make. We don't know them all yet, but I think once we've kind of made 10, we should start thinking about feature. Anything early, then I think it's not possible. I think we'll just hate it. Thing. So.
We just want to practice a lot more before we start making a feature film, because it seems like there's going to be so much more into it, and then a feature seems like it's a lot more legitimate to start selling, whereas shorts are more of just like a festival run and get your things going. I'd love to do a feature, but I don't feel like I'm a good enough filmmaker to be able to do anything justice yet.
Is that Vida filmmaking? What is the biggest difficulty when making a film? I think Emily asked this, just knowing if it's any good.
Yeah, that's always really difficult, because you can't watch it and then make the changes before you've made it. You've just got to do your best, see the outcome, look at your mistakes, and work on the next one.
Casper Chan is all the way from Hong Kong. He's currently studying there, and he's tuned in.
Hi, Casper.
That's pretty cool. All the way from Hong Kong.
Matt Johnson, who also known as Battle Ace.
Battle Ace, great name.
He says, "Some question. So I want to shoot a wide shot of my two actors facing the camera, and there is dialogue. Should I match it in post or try to hide the boom?" Yeah, you can plant a boom somewhere if there are objects in the way that you can put behind. Another way you can do it if your shot was locked down on a tripod and it was completely static would be just have the boom operator, as long as they're not casting shadows. You can sort of paint them out with a clean plate with some simple VFX. That would be a rough and ready way to do it. Otherwise, it would be putting a lav mic or something on. Yeah. But if your boom mic just sounds an awful lot better, like something like this, then I'm not going to be able to get it back. You probably don't want to use a cheap lav anyway. And if you're doing DIY sound, like you've just got one boom, one mic, you don't have a whole, pelly case of kit. Yeah. That would be an easy way to do it.
Diego is talking about, he's currently in film school right now, and he says it's not going so well in the network and a little bit of a waste. He says he's moving to Canada after graduating, but studying there is like too expensive. He's just really doing it for the real and access to gear. Perfect thing to go to university for.
Do it, yeah.
You know, if you don't have network, it says it's kind of not working, but you will kind of meet people, access to gear and get a reel, at least you've got started. They'll kind of tell you where the buttons are. It's just up for you to press them, afterwards. After university, you're going to make a lot more things. University's only so many years, then you've got so many more years to learn even more. So
yeah. Got another question from Matt Johnson. He says, what are your problems you ran into filmmaking your low... Wait. What are problems you have ran into filming your low-budget short that you have fixed in your latest short film? What does that mean?
So
what's some of the problems we've had while we're making a movie? Our most recent short film, Backstage, was, oh my god, we've said that so many times in videos. Yeah. It went really, really smooth, and this is the first film that went almost completely smooth because we did so much pre-production and we brought on so many other really clever people to do it. So I think we've had some problems in the past. I remember I was shooting in a tunnel once and I didn't have like a windsock from a microphone, so we just couldn't capture sound that day, which was difficult. Yeah. And there's other times when it's like we were shooting road and we were an hour and a half away from the car. Like it must have been like quite a bit of a distance, and then the battery decided to break. Because it was the first time we'd ever used like a V-Lock battery extension thing for the camera.
The cable come loose.
So I think one tip would be use what you're confident with and don't use something.
What you know. From that, yeah. Samuel says, whatever happened to the vlogs you do? Currently shooting one right now. There's a camera doing a time lapse. We're going to do these when sometimes we don't do very interesting stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the time, if we did vlogs every single week, it would be me and Rob just editing and going, do you want a brew?
Do you want a tea? Do you want a coffee?
Yeah, I'll go make the teas. So we do more vlogs whenever there's like a really cool shoot.
We're trying to put narrative into them, so there's something going on with them instead of just showing this is kind of what's happening. So
Andrew Cole Photography asks another question. He says, I want to shoot a scene where a woman is walking in a car park, but it's just me and her on this project, so I can't operate a boom mic. Could I use both my lapel mic and an H4n, one for speech and one for down the trousers for the footsteps? Don't worry about the footsteps. Record the dialogue and record your footsteps later in post and just sync them up. You'll want to do that as Foley anyway, so you only have to worry about that one lav mic anyway.
Yeah. Jared Johnson has got another question. He says, have you ever considered moving to the US? We should totally hang out someday. Lol. Yes, we live in the northeast of England. We've both kind of said if we're going to move away, it's probably going to be to another country. That's not necessarily if that that's an opportunity.
I'll just turn my phone on silent.
Yeah. It's just where we are, we can make stuff. We've got a nice kind of group of people who we work with. So we've got everything that we need here. It's cheaper to live here as well. But moving to the US is not out the option. Like it's sure if we could, if we needed to,
if we could pack up and go, and we would be making more films, more money, and having a better time, we would do it in a heartbeat. Valley Films asks, "Hi Max, how you doing? When and how did you guys get into filmmaking?" Have we answered this already?
Yeah.
I was 12 and I was making stop motion films.
I was 21 and I just wanted to be more creative.
DIY camera guy asks, boxers or briefs? Boxer briefs.
Boxer briefs. Get in. Right, we've got. So that's where we're at. I'll tell you where we're at. There's lots going on here. Sorry. So Jared Johnson just asked. Someone just asked. Do you have any tips of stop motion / claymation videos? Is claymation
videos?
Claymation?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that'll help with motion is adding in frames that create acceleration and deceleration. So, for example, let's see if I can. I don't have a prop. I'll use this. So say here, and you want it to spin around and then go this way. Imagine it's like a clock or something. You wouldn't go 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, 4. What you would do is you would start off really, really slowly and you would gain momentum to the point where you're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because nothing starts and stops just in 1 frame and it doesn't look realistic. So everything needs to have, it needs to break inertia and it needs to create acceleration and deceleration.
Yeah. We are here.
Okay.
So 2 seconds, we're just going through the chat.
Nerd Ninja asks, we just ask questions in the chat. Yeah.
Just put a question in there. If we don't get to the questions people have asked, we'll go in the comments afterwards and kind of catch up.
James at Iridescent Productions asks, are there many filming opportunities in Sunderland? As because where I am in the southwest of the UK, I have London on one side and Bristol on the other, but I'm in the middle. There's not that much.
Well, stay there because they're on either side and there's more than there is up here. You know, there's a lot of things going on in the northeast of England. There's, you know, especially on the indie film level, there's a lot of people making stuff and some very good stuff at that.
Yeah.
There's not too many big productions, you know, depending on what route you want to go down. There's certain TV shows that do come up in the one-off big projects, but you know you've got to be in with that like crowd and like we don't know anything about that kind of world.
If you consider it, we are not in the industry.
Yeah,
we are the sideline. Well, the industry looks at us and laughs at us and goes, "No, you've learnt that all wrong."
Yeah. So yeah. You're in a good place if you want to work within the industry. If you want to make indie projects, still you're in a good place, and you know you're gonna have a few more contacts down there. And if you're already living there, getting to London is so much easier than what it would be for us.
But the great thing about the internet is we can reach a massive audience.
Yeah. So
what is a cheap and best mic for sound recording? I've had this one for a while. It's a Rode NTG2. It's technically a short shotgun mic. It's battery powered, so you technically don't need phantom power, but phantom power will last an awful lot longer than a battery. Yeah, the mic's pretty good, but if you're going to get Rode gear, I wouldn't buy any of the accessories that come with it, because pretty much all the Rode gear that I've bought, other than the microphone, everything just seems to fall apart. It's all like cheap and plasticky.
Yeah. We've got stuff from.
Or you could use a Rode Video Mic Pro or a Video Mic Go and then boom it and just buy an extension cable and put it on a boom. As long as you've got the audio really close to the subject, the sound's going to be nice anyway. Even if it's like a little bit hissy and a little bit noisy and maybe doesn't have as much bass or treble as you'd think, as long as it's consistent, it's going to sound okay.
Right. What's your video production company name? The video production we've mentioned on one of the videos, haven't we? Yeah, in the video production guide. The video production company name is called RGR Film Productions. Go check out the site. There's some of our client work in there. A little bit different from what we've done on the channel. A lot of sit-down interviews, B-roll, things like that. Some really cool projects on there that, well, some of them are well before the film look. Some of them are like 4 years ago. So if you want to check it out, check it out.
Yeah. Nate Film Choice. I've done it so much of messing up, and I'm getting to the point to use the first take. Oh, so he's talking about presenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's weird because we looked at some of the vlogs and some of the footage from some of the first episodes that we ever did, and we were so wooden. it's weird what 2 years of presenting experience can really do.
Yeah.
And like it makes it strange, like how comfortable I am in front of this camera right now, in front of 24 people watching.
Yeah.
It's strange.
So how did you acquire paid gigs? Word of mouth promotion. So in video production world, kind of word of mouth, talking to people, doing a lot of free stuff at first, and then working up with the paid stuff. Generally, when you do the free stuff with people, they'll if you do a good job, you get to know them. They'll keep coming back to you, and when they can pay you, they will pay you. Don't always work for free though. Know how much you're worth, and certain clients, you can charge more than others, so keep that in mind. We've got a whole guide on this, video production guide, kind of telling you all out, and so it's just word of mouth. Networking, not so much just word of mouth.
Vida Filmmaker says, by the way, I still think 10k is too little for the type of content you are putting out there, but congrats. One thing we did when we started the channel was we both watched a lot of YouTube videos, and we spent 6 months sort of tailoring the channel to make sure that the quality was as high as possible. And because there's two of us, it makes it an awful lot easier. And we'd already made a few films before we even started the channel, but what we wanted to do was produce content that we were super proud of.
Yeah.
And we thought, what would the channel look like if it was already 3 years in rather than 1 day in? And we'd always just strive to make it as fun and entertaining as possible. So thank you very much.
Yeah. 2 seconds. So thinking art entertainment, when's your next short film? So the next short film is called The Asylum Groove. Hopefully we're going to be shooting that within the next couple of months. And the next one after that is called Nowhere to Go, which we tried to make before. There's some videos on the channel of how well it was going and then how bad it was going. Go check them out. So they're the next 2 film projects. Hopefully 2 in the next 6 months.
Yeah, we've got a vlog called Short Film Disaster. So if you search for that, it basically explains about the trouble we've had with the Nowhere to Go.
Yeah, I think that's your mate next, Lewis.
So he says, Rich, I was on a walk with John and found somewhere I think you could use as part of a film. Give us a ring, Louis.
What do you guys think? This is from Nerd Ninja, cool name. What do you guys think of starting a film challenge series? You guys come up with a scene and we have to do something with it. Like X.
Oh man, we've thought about this so much. We've actually got loads of ideas to do like film challenges and stuff with the audience. But the trouble is we've got 10,000 people is quite a lot, but we've got such a small audience that it might be difficult to do it at the minute. But one thing we want to do is like a split the script challenge. So we're going to write like a 10-page or let's say a 5-page script, and we send out 1 page to each person, but they don't know what any of the other pages are. And even if the scene doesn't start at the top of the page, they've just got to run with it. So it would kind of be like, certain descriptions. So it'd be like a man with a top hat and a cane walks into a room and the door is red. But then like it'll cut in, and we're going to cut in like everybody's stuff and just saying what sort of directorial differences there are in different people.
People might change the genre. So at one, it might be a Western, and then the next one it's like, a rom-com type thing, So we'll have good ideas. I just think we need more people to be able to do it. And I think if we're going to do it, I'll do prizes or something for winner.
Yeah, we definitely want to sort of hopefully get on the level of like film riots, Monday challenges and stuff. That's something we're inspired to do for the channel.
Yeah, look through the lens back. I've got a wedding shoot on Saturday, my first one. If you send the final product, could you give you some feedback? Yeah, send it. I've filmed about 30 weddings. I've done about 30 wedding videos. For some I've done myself. Sometimes I've worked for other people. So I've got experience doing that. I don't think I've got any more coming up. I haven't really got any coming up. And I've filmed more weddings than I've actually been a guest to. So send it over and we'll give you some feedback. So.
And good luck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good luck. It's very stressful. Wear some good shoes. Make sure you take some food because they might not feed you. And it's a good 12-hour day.
Rory says hi. Hi Rory, how you doing?
Cool.
And we've got Lauren1 says, how do you convey your thoughts to actors? Just got to be open with them. Sometimes you might not even be able to comprehend what it is you're about to say. You might not be able to fathom the words, but you whatever inspiration you can give to the actors, do it. So one example was I had a character for Corpse that our friend Dan Lemon played, and I couldn't really express what I wanted the character to be like. So what I said was, I used an example from a character from a video game. So the corpse is like a sort of zombie Last of Us type of thing. And I said, well, Dan, have you played this video game? He said, yes. And I asked him, well, think about the character Bill. What would he be like when he was in his 20s rather than in his 60s? Well, whatever way you get round to giving your thoughts to the actors is up to you. It's just, you got to do it very clear. So if they don't understand, you might have to try and think of it a different way. But really, it's up to you. It's your directorial style, really.
Yeah. Mr. Is that Carpet Manager?
Mr. Carpet Manager.
Mr. Carpet Manager is asked, I tried storing the can and none of the ideas really stuck. Can you help beat writer's block? With storing the can, sometimes you will get good ideas and sometimes you won't. But every idea you can still write, even if it is bad. You just go with it. And if you get one little element out of that, say a character or a location or a prop that you're like, that's really good, you will start to expand from that. If the original idea didn't work, if it sounds like a ridiculous idea, just still write it. And if it's no good, leave it in the pile. Like, at least you've typed words on a page. Like, writers, I've never struggled with writer's block. I've been struggled with laziness, really, and not wanting to write. But writer's block, it's just like, just write what the weather's like. At least you're writing. And then eventually, once you get the flow, you know, it'll just become natural and start to think of ideas. We bounce things off each other all of the time. That's why we do Storing the Can together. If you don't do it with someone else, just fine. You know, it works for us because Rich will go one way. Well, our last short film, Backstage, we had a character of the medium and an object of a fly swatter. Then Rich, in Storing the Can, which is on our channel, just says, they just sound like two bad wrestlers. Then it's become a wrestling film, and then it's everything else formed around that. It was just them a couple of words, and then we got an 8-minute piece out of it. We really like Storing the Can, keep doing it. We've got plans to expand it, which I'll not get into now. But yeah, I really like Storing the Can.
Yeah, try not to think about the post-it notes that you pick out so literal. You can take that information any way you like. And also with writer's block, it might be the approach that you've got towards it. You might be staring at a blank wall rather than trying to just experience life. I know that sounds really sad, but sometimes the best inspiration you can have is when you're not even thinking about it at all. You might be at a line in a theme park, and before you know it, you've got this idea in your head. I would say just get that on paper as soon as you can.
I think
make notes.
Inspiration comes from everything. It's not just one thing, it's every single little thing in life, and anything can spark off. I wrote a story about a pen once. Yeah. I'm not made
that
of
like Life of a Pen?
Life of a Pen. It wasn't very... You know what, actually, it wasn't too bad. It was. I might dig that one back out.
Look Through the Lens says, I used to be a daily vlogger and honestly it was hard. I did it for just under 2 years. I got followed home multiple times and harassed in the street. Wow.
Oh, I don't like that.
We want to know more about that though. That sounds really interesting.
I hate, like, why? That just sounds ridiculous. Like, people do that, but I suppose it is a thing. And sorry to hear that, you know, but I wouldn't let that discourage you, I suppose, because making films and videos, you know, that's what we do. That's what we love doing, and there's nothing better, you know, especially if you're in that kind of world.
Yeah. Lana Lauren 1 asks, sound is a huge part. Without spending too much as a newbie, how do you start to learn record good sound?
You've got a guide on that, don't you?
Yeah, we do have a guide on that. It's called the Indie Film Sound Guide.
Battle Ace right underneath.
Yeah.
He's mentioned.
So our Indie Film Sound Guide is a sort of walkthrough of all the basic knowledge you need to know in order to record good sound. So it talks about how to record solid dialogue, not even with expensive microphones, but even something like using the microphone from your mobile phone, for example. As long as your sound is consistent throughout, it doesn't have to be like super high quality. It just has to be close and loud.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Indie Film Sound Guide, you can find that on the channel.
Yeah. So that's got another question just straight after this. So any tips for self-shooting a documentary? We've never really shot a documentary. We do have a short film on the channel called Undeveloped, which is about an undeveloped film that I found. It's only 2 minutes long. It didn't quite come out the way. The story didn't quite come out the way I wanted to, but that's documentary filmmaking. We haven't made one, but self-shooting, just be passionate about the subject. Like, if you're passionate about it, it'll come across in your filmmaking.
Emmanuel Duga, great name, says, so I made 3 short films, 2 animated and 1 live action. It'll be a good idea, or maybe he says, do you think it'll be a good idea to start a feature, a low budget one, a la French New Wave? If you're thinking you're ready to shoot a feature, then you go for it.
Yeah, I mean, don't let anyone tell you you can't. If you feel like you can. Us personally, we're going to wait until we've made another 8 more short films to even start to think about it, because it's budget, it's time, it's money. I said budget and money twice, but it's that. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, do it.
Yeah,
why
go
not?
for it. And even if you do make it and it doesn't come out as great as you would like, I mean, making a feature and making mistakes from a feature is going to be a massive learning process anyway. So
Yeah.
I think if you fail at making a feature, your next one is going to be a success anyway.
Yeah.
So go for it. And send it when you finish as well.
Next one is from your mail, I think.
So Louis Foster is saying, is there any plans of making a prequel or a sequel of the zombie film? That was so interesting. I'd love to. Corpse was only 1 episode. I wrote like 4 episodes after it and a couple of episodes before it. But I think with the short films that we're making, it's all about sort of stretching the muscles and trying to get better. What I want to do is just make it into like a feature script, but it's at the bottom of the pile at the minute. I did watch it the other day though, and I'm still really proud of that film.
Yeah, I'll be the same here. By the way, I've just realised we've got like hats on. We haven't explained. But the reason we're wearing hats is because
Merry Christmas!
No, we had them in the drawer.
Oh yeah, we saved these from the big Christmas cracker thing we got at Christmas time, and we thought
since we're celebrating,
they're kind of like party hats, as long as it doesn't look like it's Christmas. They
do
look like party hats.
We're just celebrating. So,
Filmmaker's Notebook asks, do you have any unusual things you always take to a shoot?
I always take flapjack, like, big shoots, loads of flapjack. The crew really like flapjack. And then if I'm just shooting away just out somewhere, I always take some flapjack. Just keeps you going.
We take Terry.
Oh yeah,
This is Terry. He our seatbox trolley. He's called Terry Crews because he's big and he can carry a lot. And is that weird? I don't know. It's for fishing, but we use it to carry filmmaking equipment.
2 seconds. So, well, 2.
Lana Lauren 1 asks, hi guys, any tips on writing a treatment and structure for a documentary? It's a strange one because a documentary, the story gets revealed to you in the edit. So what you need to do is find some interesting people, interesting subjects that you can pause your story into and then work from there. So let them create whatever it is you started with. Yeah. It's a strange one, but it's kind of like, I feel like it's going to be very similar to a client project in terms of recording them, getting some B-roll, but you really just got to shape it yourself. And the most important thing is asking the right questions to the right people.
Yep. Then we've got, how do you pronounce that?
Emilio.
Emilio has asked, how did you guys meet? And what did you do prior to starting the channel? Prior I was running a video production company, so doing client work, but also working in a bar.
I was working in a camping shop.
Yeah. And then I was a paid freelancer on a job, filming bifolding doors. So
and I was the unpaid intern
for another company. And then we kind of met, and we both had the same camera, same tripod, same slider. Just started talking. Oh, you like film, right? Oh, I like film, right too.
Yeah, film, right. It's good. Did you see that PVC shoulder rig thing?
Andrew Kramer. Yeah, I know Andrew Kramer. Well, you know him. And then a couple of projects in, just started working together, and then 2 years later.
Yeah, it got to the point where we were working on each other's projects so much that we became competition for ourselves. Yeah. So all of our showreel material became our showreel material. Yeah. There was 2 websites, and then we were like, well, all of the material that we advertise is exactly the same. Why are we paying 2 websites at the same time? And that's when we merged together.
I mean, I had been working for about 3-4 years on the production company, but just me, like day in, day out, and not particularly healthy. And I was just like, I really want someone to work with, even if it's just someone else to go make the tea, but generally we take turns. We're on the same level.
Yeah, and I was doing freelance on and off while doing my part-time job,
and then
trying to figure out what was going on.
Then I left because I just had to, and then about a year later, Rich had to leave just because he had to. But the
part-time job.
Yeah, the part-time job. Yeah, I mean the part-time job kind of helped us push forward with what we do. So
yeah, and it gives you perspective as well.
Yeah. So then
James from Iridescent Productions. For your production company, do your clients come to you, or do you go to your clients, or both? It's both. We get emails every now and then from smaller businesses asking for like interviews and B-roll talking about their business, but we put in contracts for bigger sort of proposals and stuff as well. So it's a mix between them.
Yep.
Ayub asks, hello from... No, he says, hello from Morocco. Hello from England.
Morocco? Sounds... It's probably nice and warm there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then we've got...
and Lana Lawrence saying, hi from New York.
I was there in December last year. That doesn't help.
Did you see him?
No, you probably didn't.
It's a big place.
Yeah, it's a big place. Oh, it's just jumped forward.
Look through the lens. What are some cheap ways to get a website up and running? I need a website for my showreel. Squarespace.
I'm currently building the new site on Squarespace, and it just works. It's just really nice. It's going to launch soon. I'm just waiting for transfer stuff over. It might cost more than others, but it's the ease. You don't want it to take over your life. You just want to be able to publish your work, and there you go. So,
Jane Carruthers is saying, rocking the hats again, lads. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Right, we've actually only got a couple of minutes left because we were only going to do an hour, but I think we might need extended for 10 minutes.
Right.
I don't believe this has actually been an hour.
Let's do these quick.
And then we'll do a quick wrap up.
Look Through the Lens asks, as a freelance videographer and photographer, I was working Saturday. It only worked for about half an hour, but the client is now a regular, paid me for nearly 2 years of work. I charge £15 an hour.
It's good, bit.
That is very nice.
Do it. Yeah, I mean, getting paid anything is good. With 15 quid an hour.
Nate from Nate's Film Tutorial says, I will be a cinematographer on someone else's low budget short film. The director seems well prepared and open to suggestions. How do I not overstep my boundaries as a cinematographer? The director has the vision and you do the execution.
Yep. If you need to direct the actor, just go, can you just step left a little bit just so the light's perfect on him? That you can, don't be afraid to do that.
Because you've got the camera in your hand, don't be afraid to say, can you just bunch over a little bit? I just need to get this framing quite right.
Because you've got a relationship with the actors as well, because you're the one that's pretty much in front of them while they're acting. They know where you are because you've got a camera in front of the face. You've still got a bit of a relationship, but let the director tell his vision. So.
Or her vision.
Or her vision, yeah.
Caffeine Magazine says, I've just started a coffee magazine style show. Any tips on creating a workflow for weekly content?
We spent 6 months developing our workflow. You don't need to spend 6 months, but we were making videos well before we launched the channel just to get the format right and to get comfortable doing it whilst doing other bits and pieces. So work out, a weekly schedule. If you're releasing one a week, work out what that is. If you're doing 2 a week, how different are they?
And work out if you're capable of doing 2 a week as well. Regular content that's twice a month is better than irregular content that's like 7 times in 1 week and then nothing for ages. Yeah. The YouTube algorithm really loves pushing it out at the exact same time. Yeah. And then we use a thing called Trello as well. We have, it's like a digital post-it note portfolio that we use that anyone can get to and move around and stuff. But yeah, it's difficult creating a workflow for weekly content, but try making a couple of videos, see how long it takes you to make them, and try to get really far ahead with the videos as well. Make a dozen and then start putting them out once a week, so you're actually 12 weeks
don't
ahead.
Be afraid if you've made, say, a couple of videos and they're not quite what you want. Don't put them out. Don't pressure yourself to put them out. Get them right. They don't have to be perfect, but if you feel like, my editing could be a little bit better here, do that until you feel like, I want to put this out. It's, if you're not used to making videos, like when we started, we knew how to edit just because we've been training to do this for a couple of years before the channel. But just get comfortable in front of the camera if that's what you're doing, and your style, like do your style. Don't like, you can copy off of other people, but figure out what yours is, what your style is.
And if you've got any free coffee,
we do like a good coffee.
We do love a good coffee.
Yeah.
So, Louis Foster asks top 10 favorite films of all time.
That's too much.
Indiana Jones, Stand by Me, The Matrix, Empire Strikes Back, Back to the Future. There's 5. Do you want to do 5?
Yeah, I'll do 5. So Back to the Future 2, Inception, name some films. Name. You know when someone asks you and you're just like, what are the Back to the Future 2, Inception, what was the film one I said?
Star Wars, maybe?
No, not. Don't get started with Star Wars. What's that one with Ron Williams? That I really like.
Jumanji.
I really like Jumanji, but it's not in the top 5.
What does he do?
It's the one with Ben Affleck and
Mr. Doubtfire. Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting. There you go. I get that. I seen The Shape of Water today as well, and I'm still a bit. I don't know yet. So, right, we're near the end, so we'll answer these last couple. Thank you very much for everyone who's still with us as well.
We're almost at the bottom. James, or Teddy, as we like to call him, from Iridescent Productions, asks, should totally check out Exodus, the official unofficial sequel to Corpse. We did check out Exodus. It was featured in Popcorn Sunday.
It was, yeah. Coffee Magazine. Thank you guys. No, thank you very much for tuning in. Have
a short where a guy has a hole in his chest where his heart is. He takes things out. Not sure how to do this effect. Tips. This is difficult. It's going to be a range of practical and visual effects to get right. If you can make a fake torso to be able to push through for the physical stuff, and then at the distance if you can make visual effects stuff. But I mean, there should be some pretty good tutorials.
Nate's just commented on the video saying Indie Mogul had a video on that. Nate, if you can find that, can you kind of link that, because that's really good. Thank you, Nate, for that as well. Right, so last couple of questions before we go.
I've got several films that you guys should add on the list for the podcast. Shall I send them over on Twitter?
Yes. Right, this is a good one.
Embarrassing stories.
Should we filmmaking stories? Because I know what your embarrassing story is, and I don't think we can tell people. So let's go embarrassing filmmaking stories.
I don't mind telling people.
No, embarrassing filmmaking
you go
stories. I suppose it's not really embarrassing, but I think we've got the question of like, what's a weird situation that we've filmed in?
Oh yeah.
And I've done a lot of work for like a local museum, and I had to film. So it was a glass blowing demonstration, but it was also a burlesque dance show while they were blowing hot glass. It was super interesting to watch. Like it was just bizarre, but it was just a little bit weird at the same time. The video came out quite well. She really liked it, so I'm glad that was a client job. So
we also actually one of the only projects that we've ever declined was from someone who wanted us to shoot a funeral.
Oh yeah, we got asked to shoot a funeral once,
and it was because I think
their relatives
wanted to be at the funeral, but they couldn't because they were in another country, and we literally just had to tell them we were busy. Like I can't imagine shooting at a funeral. Like whenever we're on a client shoot, I'm a guy with a camera, and I don't care who's there. I'm getting a job done, and I'm going to do the best I can. And if I get in people's way to a certain degree, I will. At a funeral, imagine being like, oh, I need to get the over-the-shoulder shot. Like, how horrible must that be? Especially when loads of people are grieving.
2 cents, I just need to get the slider out.
Yeah, like, that's the one job you got to decline. Like, it's too awkward.
Nate's he's put the name of the Indie Mogul episode in there for Lana. So go and check that out. Liam Angus, you've arrived late. We told you what time it was. Liam Angus is the actor in all of our films. So yes. So who's
James is saying no way, I was asked to live stream a funeral in Bristol last year. Did you live stream?
Did you? Yeah.
Did you say yes?
Right. So Liam, hello Liam. So
he says, I'd like you to shoot my funeral, but I like to direct it.
All right.
Yeah, sure.
Perfect.
That'll win an Oscar.
That's a very weird request.
Yeah, I'll look at that. Thanks to the video again. Yeah, that was a very weird. Was a very weird request. Yeah, I can't imagine live streaming a funeral would be a bit.
Yeah, I think we're going to leave it on that note. Thank you everyone for tuning in. And the reason we're doing this is because we reached 10,000 subscribers, and that was a goal for us. Once we got 1,000, we says we wouldn't talk about it until we got 10, and then we're not going to talk about it until we get 100,000, if that ever happens. But thanks very much for everyone to tune in. And if you've got any questions, put them in the comments, and we'll get to them if we didn't get to anyone. And yeah, it's just fun doing this. It is. So
thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on Tuesday.
What episode's out on Tuesday?
Lighting series?
No, it's not. Okay.
I don't know. One of them.